Hey there, viewers. It's Charlie. I'm back again, and well, after reviewing a bunch of Micromasters earlier, I feel like reviewing a much bigger figure. So this time, I shall review the 2007 movie Thundercracker. Whew. So yeah, this guy is definitely much bigger than the Micromasters I reviewed. As from what I can remember, this guy's a Voyager class. So he's even bigger than Barricade. And hopefully he will be less finicky than him. But yeah, having a look at the figure, I mean, right off the bat, we can see these little Gatling guns here. And, well, there is a gimmick with them, which I'll show soon. The top, I mean, here we have the nose cone to the cockpit. Got a bunch of panel lines. And I'm sure you know what this bit will turn into soon. And the underneath, which of course, seeing how this is a jet transformer, it's required by law to have all this under kibble underneath. And of course, we have the head. But speaking of these Gatling guns, they do have a gimmick. If you can, well, try and roll the figure along if you can, although it's not working on the surface, so I'll just show here. If you roll the actual wheel along, it's supposed to spin around the Gatling guns. And it does have these little flip out sight things, but another gimmick is, well, if you can keep this pegged in, if you move that down, then, well, when you roll the actual thing along, this is going to be hard, so I'll probably do this backwards. Well, when you're supposed to turn it around, it's supposed to launch the missiles, and of course the bloody things have just gone off behind my table. So what I'll do is, with these missiles, I'll fire them off by hand, and I'll just have them hit the camera. So, that's one, that's two, and three. So these missiles I've managed to keep in the table, but the other ones, well, excuse me. Oh, bumping the camera. Thankfully, it was an easy task, so I still have all 6 missiles. And for this guy's transformation, I'm going to keep them off, just so I don't end up accidentally shooting myself with them. Flashbacks to Landmine from Transformers Energon. But, well, of course this guy's going to be a big boy, so we're going to have to raise the camera. Okay, now. So, trying to get Thundercracker into his robot mode. Well, start by pulling out the missile launchers. Like so. Come in here and flip that bit up. Come in here with the underneath the vehicle. Open up the door. Unpack the leg. Pull that out. And then if it's fully extended, just forgot one thing. Fold that out first and then move that. Then turn the thing around, like so. Second first, just like the first. Just try and open a little kneecap. Open this if you even can. Oh, I keep forgetting it. It's actually this side where it opens. But yeah, just extend that out. And then just turn that. Then open these up here. and move down the feet. Normally you're supposed to bend the legs, but I don't like doing that, so sorry, I'm not gonna do it. Next, try and peg the cockpit from the nose cone. There we go. And for now, just try and move that out the way. Then just try and move that up. Well, here we have a really cool bit of automorph. Oh, well, unpeg the wings. And then that'll allow for some really cool automorph. If things don't get in the way, because just here it's supposed to move down the Gatling guns first, but then that's when we get the really cool automorph. So you see, and aside from Prime, that's one of my favorite bits of automorph. And finally, just peg that on. What I like to do is move down the tail fins and have them hide down there. Then move the cockpit down. Try and open these up. Take this little middle finger, move that down. This bit's a bit hard. Trying to fold down the wing without popping this off. But yeah, then fold down the wing, and then just fold that like so. There we go. It's quite tricky to do this the other way, going to jet mode, because these bits can pop off quite easily. You see? That's my biggest complaints. These bits can pop off just as easily as Barricade's arm can spring up. But it can be done, as seen there. What was the nose cone and peg that in. Move up the shoulders. Move those down. Move the elbows. Finally, turn them around at the head. And well, here we have Thundercracker. And if I can, I'm gonna carefully try and give him his missile hands. There we go. If my phone will even focus, there we go. As you can see, he's got missiles for fingers. I mean, I suppose it's a bit tamer than Cybertron Thundercracker, who had an entire rocket launcher for an arm, but he doesn't have any real fingers. Hell, any real hands. So, yeah. Now, having a look at Thundercracker's head, and with this I'm going to have to actually move my phone instead of just moving the figure. As you can see, it's a bit more creepy looking. It's like if you took G1 Thundercracker's head and you distorted it. Because this is actually a little bit horrifying, honestly. It's pretty much a monstrous version of G1 Thundercracker's face. Although it does have some pretty cool light piping, and not just the eyes, but also the mouth. So, yeah. One thing I like is the fact that, unlike most other Thundercracker figures, the underneath of the jet doesn't form his front. Instead, it's the actual top of the jet that forms the front bit. I can't think of any other Starscream, Skywarp, or Thundercracker figures that actually do that. Because most of the time, it's the entire nose cone that forms the chest, and not just the little cockpit section. Granted, it does sort of show in robot mode, but it's ignorable. Now, as I said earlier, I did skip a step. Normally, you're supposed to bend legs in such a way where it looks like chicken legs, but me personally, I don't like how that looks, and he stands normally as he's standing right now, so what's the point of doing it? I just prefer displaying him like this. Makes him a bit taller. Now, for this guy's articulation, of course, the head can swivel. These bits can move. Can swivel. I suppose his fingers can twirl. He does have elbows, if I can not shoot the missiles. Of course, he can T-pose. Of course, you're going to have to be careful when maneuvering his arms if you have the missiles in, because the missiles are shot with these bits. That I did on purpose. But these grey bits are what shoot the missiles, and it's very easy to set them off. So, if you're maneuvering the arms with the missiles on, be really careful, as you can shoot yourself, because these missiles do fire pretty well. But, moving on to the legs. I suppose they can sort of close in on themselves. They can move up and down. Can sort of do the splits, although not that well. He's got knees. Can break his arm. And he has got foot articulation. So yeah, I really like how poseable Thundercracker is. And personally, I actually preferred how this guy looks over the original Starscream version of the figure. I don't know, I think I just find Starscream's gray a bit too boring. But if I wanted to get a figure of movie Starscream, I think it'd definitely be the leader class one from either Revenge of the Fallen or Hunt for the Decepticons. I can't remember what line it's from, but if I were to get a movie Starscream figure, it would definitely be that. And before you say, no, I'm currently not collecting the Studio Series line, I sort of prefer getting like the OG figures, like I prefer getting OG G1 figures over the Masterpiece or Generations figures. Likewise, I prefer collecting the original movie figures over the Studio Series ones. That's not to say I'll never collect Studio Series, I might do that in the future, but for now. And speaking of Studio Series, Thundercracker actually did appear in that line, although it was just Nitro's use in blue. But personally, I prefer how this version of movie Thundercracker looks. And well, pretty much that's all I have to say about this guy. I mean, complaints. The transformation, it is fun, don't get me wrong. I do really like the transformation, but bits can just pop off quite easily. Most annoyingly, the tail fins here. It's not as annoying as Barricade's transformation or even Ratchet's transformation. Because remember, with Ratchet's transformation, pieces came off left, right, and center. But I just find these bits popping off quite annoying. I also sort of wish that these weren't so easy to trigger. Like, if anything, I sort of wish that these could just pop off and form actual weapons. And this guy had actual arms. Well, this guy had actual hands. Because say you actually lost the missiles, he would just have huge gaping blasters for hands, and that's it. And, well, that's pretty much my only complaints about this guy. Oh, just trying to sort the wings. So, do I recommend this guy? Well, this could be controversial, but definitely, this is a really good figure. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite movie figures next to Movie Prime, and just because I find the transformation really cool. Not to mention, that Automorph is amazing. I mean, sure, as I said, the missiles and the tail fins can be a bit annoying because they can just pop off quite easily, or just shoot away and get lost, but I find this figure really cool looking, and his transformation is really fun. So, do I recommend this guy? As I said, yes. Although, if you don't want Thundercracker, then there's either Starscream, a G1 colored Starscream, or Skywarp. I mean, I do really like this figure, but as I said, it does have its flaws. So, this has been my review on the 2007 movie Thundercracker, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.